do not know how to build deep, meaningful relationships. But the way I manage it, which is different than most, is I wish I had these skills 10 years ago.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
If you allow someone to sit and struggle with you, it actually deepens the relationship.
I think it's important for people to present themselves as they are, which is messy.
It absolutely comes with risk. What makes great relationships great is not that you get along all the time.
I dated somebody who, if I asked her, "How are you?" "Great," was the only answer she ever gave me.
That's all I've ever said to people.
And it actually made it very difficult for me to get close to her because I knew that she was having bad days. I could tell when she was frustrated. And so when somebody puts on that brave face and always wants to be great for their partner, it's the most selfish thing you can do because you're denying them that awesome joy of being able to be there for you. Remember, as social animals, we want to take care of the people we love. And how dare you deny them the unbelievable honor of getting to sit in the mud with you? You know, it is a joy that human beings get to experience. And one of the things, if you can, by the way, the biology proves it, that one of the things that releases oxytocin, which is that feeling of love and connection and trust, is shared struggle. Shared struggle releases oxytocin, which is why when families go through tragedy, they get closer, which is why when societies go through hurricanes, there's intense, politics get put aside and we support each other, right? And it's the same in a relationship, which is if you allow someone to sit and struggle with you, it actually deepens the relationship biologically. But what we're talking about is risk. What we're talking about is being vulnerable, making, and it requires more courage, as you've learned. It actually requires more strength to say, I'm anxious today, than it does to lie and say everything's great. That's the irony. Superficially, it's stronger, but in reality, it's cowardice. And by the way, that doesn't make it easy. The words are easy. And I've definitely been there and you've been there. But I think that if we like someone, and I always say leadership is about going first. That's why we call you leader, right? Doesn't mean you have the answers. It doesn't mean you're right. It just means you stepped first into the unknown, that we took the risk to go first. And so in a relationship, one of you can take the lead. One of you can go first to set the example of what it looks like and feels like to say, I'm having a bad day today. And I don't need you to fix it. I know what I'm going through. I want to tell you all of this stuff because I want you to be there with me. And I want to be there with you because I don't want to feel this way alone.
See, I always feel you're so refreshingly human in all your insights there. Going back to your point on imperfect is human and human is imperfect. It's freeing, it's liberating to know that, if you can be messy, we all can.
I think it's important for people to present themselves as they are, which is messy, because to present yourself as perfect sets up an unfair standard for other people to live by.
Absolutely.
And usually people present themselves as perfect, usually out of absolute fear that they don't want people to know that they're actually imperfect. Yeah. And I'll say what I said before. To be beautiful is to be human. To be messy is to be beautiful. We don't fall in love with the perfection. We fall in love with the imperfection. We fall in love when somebody lets us be imperfect, allows us to be imperfect, and allows us to love them for being imperfect. We showed up on the first date because of all the perfection. And imperfection is earned. Like the space to be imperfect is earned. You do not reveal all your imperfections on date one. Too soon, too much. That's overwhelming. And when you do the work and you take the small risks that then become big risks, I want to be my messy self with somebody who loves me for my messy self. And I want somebody to feel that I love them no matter how messy they are. And that is a high standard and a hard thing to find. And if you have a friend like that, you work damn hard to protect that friendship.
I love it. What is the best advice you've ever heard or received? Let's do it to do with friendship.
One of the best advice I got personally is you don't have to know everything and you don't have to always be right. And that's a relief.
Question number 2. What is the worst advice you've ever heard or received?
Trust me, I've been doing this longer than you.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I try and ignore people who tell me that.
Question number 3. Define a good friend.
I believe that friendship is 2 or more people who agree to grow together. And so a good friend is somebody who we have decided that we're gonna grow together.
And it's opening yourself up to failure. That is the thing that makes it work, you know? At least for a small percentage.
It does.
But it's the same for love, which is, or a relationship or friendship, which is, it absolutely comes with risk. There's nothing risk-free. Like, yeah, some of them might change. Yes. Some of them might not like you for that. Yes. And the odds are equal that somebody will fall in love with you and love you and like you and think you're the best thing and think you're amazing. And so if you can't take the risk, you can't get the reward. If you don't play the lottery, you don't win the jackpot. If you aren't willing to I'm not telling you to open up and tell everybody your deepest, darkest secrets. But if you're not willing to give somebody anything to latch onto, to be like, if you can't give them anything to say, me too, then it's going to be a hard road. Or it'll take somebody to chip away at you 20 times, before you open up. But the fact that you did and she got it to open up a little bit, she could make a friend in you. What makes great relationships great is not that you get along all the time.